Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Coach Benny, and we are now live in the Health and Wealth Podcast Show. Like I said, my name is Coach Benny, and I am the Chief Motivator here at Rebel Fit, and I help men and women get to their healthiest, best selves, and live the best versions of their life. Let me say that. And I enjoy doing it. And I have somebody on here with me who, as well, is brand new to the Rebel Fit community, but also enjoys doing it as well. And I'm excited to have her on for this week. As you know, every week we bring somebody on who will share their experiences, share their stories, and they're mostly members of my community. And sometimes I bring people who aren't, but it's been a consistent thing for me because I've been doing this now for the last couple of months, and we've been rocking with it every Friday. Next Friday there will not be one, only because of I'm going out of town to Dallas for a business function. So looking forward to coming back and sharing some wealth about that as well. But let's get it going, y'all. So you guys know what to do. If you're watching this live, comment live in the comments. If you're watching this on replay, put replay in the comments. Follow us on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Benny Black, BNYBLAQ is spelled for you right there in the corner somewhere, right there. And if you want to follow us on social media, it's Rebel Fit USA on both Facebook and Instagram. Follow me on IG as well. And if you're watching this, hit the share button because sharing is caring, right? And we want to get as much of this knowledge and information as we can to all different platforms and people who may be thinking about doing something with their health or may have been putting off making decisions or changes about their health. And this is the right time for them and they can do that. So make sure you hit that share button for us so we can get this thing going. So people are checking in. Coach Twana on the check-in, one of our accountability coaches are on the check-in. Coach Rock on the check-in. All of CeCe's folks are checking in and supporting her on these live. So make sure you guys share it. Twana's watching live. All right, cool. So this lady, this young woman, this dope coach, she has been in our community for about I want to say like a month now, a month or so, roughly. And she has already made a huge impact on our community, not only in our community, but on me as well. She's taken a lot of stress off my plate. Um, as just coming in, she came from another gym where she was kind of like doing a lot of administrative things and one of their coaches as well. And now she is with us and she is just doing some amazing things. The clients love her, and she has a health and wellness story of her own, which I cannot wait for her to share. But she is our lead accountability coach, and or what we call our lead client advocate or lead member advocate. And she is, changing lives and doing a lot. So I cannot wait to introduce and bring her on to this chat, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Coach Cecilia Blackshear to the stream one time. Woo! As we know her in the basement here. Coach, what up?
Hey, thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Of course. It was just due time. But so I want, before we get into all the coaches and all the coaching and all of that of what we do here at RF, just kind of give me a little bit of Rosa says, "What's up, CeCe? What up, Benny?
Hey, Rosa.
What's up, Rosa?" Just give me a little bit of a background of who you are, where you came from, all of that good stuff, and what some a little bit about your fitness journey as well.
Sure. So, a little bit about me, military brat, grew up all over, moved everywhere. Fitness was never in the forefront of my brain at all growing up. I was a very
Mhm.
skinny kid, could eat whatever, do whatever, no issues with that. So, met my husband here. My dad retired here in Virginia. Met my
Okay.
husband here, raising our family here. My husband was in the military for a little bit. Um, But after my last two kids, that's when the weight in my 30s became a big problem. It's like,
Right.
is going on here? This is like, it ain't leaving.
Right.
It likes to come and stay, and it's just
Right.
piling on.
It's like
Um,
attachments. It's like
yes. I was like,
right.
okay. So then it was starting to be the, avoiding taking pictures. Like, y'all could take pictures, but I don't want to, let me
Right.
hide behind whoever, get in front. Like,
Right.
didn't want to take pictures anymore, didn't want to go buy clothes anymore. Like, nothing was fitting the way it should fit, or in my mind, what I should look like wearing them. So that was just a pain and everything. And then with I have three boys. So with my two youngest, I just thought, oh, I'm tired because, toddlers and working full time.
Right.
So, nope, found out I had sleep apnea from my
Wow.
weight. Yeah, so I had to get on a CPAP machine. And that was a pain because now you can't be spontaneous, right? You gotta, if I'm gonna go stay somewhere, I need to take my little box.
Right. Right.
Because then I might not wake up. I mean, that's the
Right.
reality. If you don't have
Wow.
it, that could happen.
Right.
And they tell you, that's the pathway to other things like diabetes, and like it could just spiral. And I was like, no. So that was my let me figure out what I need to do moment. So
Moment. Right.
first
That was
thing I did was I was like, I gotta quit my job. I
wow.
was burnt out and tired. I worked in financial services and was like, yeah, no more. So I told my husband, I'm like, it had been like 3 years where the job just wasn't the same anymore. And I was just tired. And his job has changed too. So um, I was like, we're just going to have to figure it out. Like, I was so burnt out. I didn't even want to talk to people. I didn't want to interview. I wasn't even looking for a job. I
Right.
honestly needed to just check out. And he was like, okay,
Right.
we'll figure it out. So before I quit my job, I was like, well, let me get this gym membership. So I bought locally for the rec center, got a gym
Right.
membership for the family because I was like, there ain't no excuses. Like, I'm going to go. We all going to go. Like,
Vir- that's that Virgo trait. That's that
we're
like
just all doing it.
yes.
Well, then I quit my job and I was like, all right, kids are off to school. I'm going to just go back to bed.
Mhm.
And then I'd wake up to get them off the school bus,
Right.
like checked out. So then
Right.
after a couple of weeks of that, I was like, all right, you need to get your act together. Like, at least get to the gym you're already paying for, right? Like, go.
Yep.
But my introvert self was like, well, I don't know anybody there. And I don't know if I'm going to make some friends.
Yep.
I don't know how it works. So it was very intimidating. Like, how's the schedule work? Do I just show up? Do I have to sign up? Like, all this stuff in my head.
Hmm.
I was like, girl, just go. So I just showed up. So I started doing Zumba because I love dancing and it was easy. I had videos I had done at home before. So I was like, I'm going to just do this.
Right.
And it was fun. I had a good time. So kids would go off to school. I would go do Zumba for an hour, 6 days a week. I was going.
Wow. Yeah, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah. Didn't look any different.
Right.
After doing it for like 2 months, I'm like, okay, a little bit of weight loss, but as far as like any big changes other than that, was like, no. And then I was like, okay, now I got to switch it up. So I was like, okay, now I got to start looking at what else they offer besides Zumba. So I tried a little bit of TRX and some other stuff, but schedule wise, things kind of just didn't work out. So I found a gym, started doing HIIT. So
Right.
started doing that 3 days a week because at that point I had let my gym membership expired for the rec center. And
Right.
I was at that point, I was like, well, that didn't work. So I'm gonna just eat whatever and do whatever. Because I busted my butt and nothing happened. And I'm like, fine, I'm just gonna be fat now. Like, that's it.
Right.
um, so found a gym, was very skeptical, like let's see. So I did 3 days a week starting, and then started learning about nutrition. And
Mm.
that's where the light bulb went off. I was like,
Went
okay,
off.
now I know what I need to do because then the weight started coming down. And I stuck to it. So then I increased the workouts to 5 days a week, worked on my nutrition. And I would say I was on point with my nutrition for probably a good year and a half. Like,
Wow.
no deviation, like just worked that program to the T.
Right.
And so within about 6 months of being at the gym, I lost 40 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just drive and motivation. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So got off the CPAP machine, was like, yes, don't have to worry about that no more.
Right.
And then after that was just like, let's maintain it and build some more muscle because then I can
Right.
eat more.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But that's
So,
how I got into the fitness game. I
yeah,
was like, that was
right.
never on my radar.
So what, so then take that into the next level. So you got yourself right. And that's how most people do when they get into this journey. They work on themselves first and then they fall in love with the process and then they end up becoming coaches. That's how I got into this. Right. I always tell the story. I was drunk in a pizza shop and saw P90X and decided to make that change with my life. And then decided I wanted to help others, and I started literally in an apartment, and then after that my basement, and then going from there. So what, you fell in love with it, you lost all the weight. What was that next thing to be like, hey, I want to become a trainer? Like, what was that thing?
First, I was like, I could do that. And then I was like, well, I don't want to be in front of people
Right.
because that's my introvert self. I was like, I want to do it, but I don't want to be in front of people. So I started learning about the nutrition and doing the nutrition accountability coaching with people
Okay.
because, as we know, you can't outrun the fork, right? You have
Right.
to put the work in the kitchen
Hmm.
because there's not enough hours in the day
Right.
to put that work in with all our busy schedules and everything else everybody's doing. Um, so I started with nutrition coaching and I was like, oh, I'm actually really good at this. Like helping
Hmm.
people, sharing my journey, giving tips, like taking it one step at a time. And I was like, that for me was like it. That was like seeing other people get through that journey and having that click where it's like they get it now and they just
Right.
keep moving, right? Those are the success stories that I love when people finally get it in their mindset because that's where the work is up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mindset first. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have
So
to be coachable because there's some people that say they're ready for it, but if they're not, there's only so much I can help with.
right.
And I had to realize that too, because there were people I was like, man, I'm like trying everything and
Hmm.
they're not getting any kind of results. And then I had to realize that's not on me,
Yeah.
that's with them here. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So you made that transition into becoming a coach. You became a coach. When did you get certified again?
I got
Uh,
certified in November of last year.
November of last
Yeah,
year during COVID.
during
Right.
COVID.
Yeah. 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 And then
Man, test
COVID.
taking is not my thing. I was, whoo,
Yeah.
made it through, made it through.
Made it through, right? But you got certified, and then you transitioned from the position you were in, and you landed in our lap.
Yeah.
Um, thank God. And at a time and a point where I needed you the most, which was the crazy thing about it. And you came over to Rebel. Give me a little bit of insight of what you've loved about being in our community thus far.
Oh man, everyone has been so great and so welcoming. That's the energy um, that I was looking for. Just having that sense of community again, where people are cheering on everybody else. People are
Yeah,
cheering on and helping push someone else. And then we give you a side eye too when you come in late and you're trying to sneak up in the workout.
right,
What's happening
right,
here, right?
right.
So it's been fabulous. Not only from just the gym community, but those that are doing nutrition as well. All the other coaches are on point, and it just feels like a big family. Like this is family now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I, you know what, like I always say, like, it is so hard for coaches to come into our community and make that transition, because I have members, and you've seen that, like I've like the average member's been here no less than a year, and we have members who've been here 5 6 years. And it's hard coming into a community where the people have been here so long, and you're like, it's like dating, and
Right.
it's like bringing, right, you know what I mean, it's like dating, and it's like bringing a brand new person home, that you're like, hey, this is my new girlfriend, right? and
Right.
it's like, they're all looking like, who's this person, right?
Hmm.
Like, who is this new person, like, who is this, and how long is she gonna last, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so bringing you in, it was easy, like it was such a quick transition. um and they've embraced you so quickly into this community, quicker, like you and Helen. I always say, like, you guys have been embraced like this. Like, I've never seen coaches come into our community the way that you guys have come in and been embraced so quickly, that haven't already been in our community. Let me say that, that you guys are coming from the outside, coming in, and
Right.
just been embraced so quickly by the actual members, and they've drawn to you guys, and you've taken a lot of um, pressure off of me, as far as now coming in initially just to be a coach, and now transitioning into that GM role. What fulfillments do you get from doing this? Like, I know you mentioned, like, just seeing the people be successful, but touch on that a little bit. Like, what, like, just going in, because this is a new role for you as well. Like, you've been in positions, but this is like a brand, like, management role,
Right.
like you're in right now. Like, and you've never told me no. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm about to give you this, and you're like, okay, come on,
Let's see what happens.
let's just go. So what kind of drives you and motivates you to, like, because coaching isn't easy. Like it is
It
not.
isn't easy. I
No.
mean, yeah. Even like a few people I reached out today were like, "Oh, you guys are serious about." It's like, yeah, I haven't heard from you. Like, what is going on? Like,
Right.
they think that they can get away with hiding in numbers,
Right.
but it's like, no, we're ready to call you out. We're gonna put you in the front of the classroom, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because everyone knows what they need to do in this day and age. The wealth of information on the internet is at your fingertips. So it's not like people don't know what they need to do.
Right.
Putting that mental fortitude to actually implement those things. And sometimes it's just a loss of, they're just going through their day and they don't structure it anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like they get into that monotony. And I know because I was there. Like, I was going to a job literally at night. I'd be like, God, tomorrow I got to get up and go to this place with these people I don't even want to talk to and put in 8 hours. Right.
Right.
And then I got to go home and deal with these kids and their homework. And it's like just going from one thing to the next, but not having any kind of like direction of what I want to accomplish for myself during that day. Because we get lost, especially women, we get lost in doing things for everybody else. Um, so it's just helping them like reprioritize themselves first. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big one, right?
Right.
Because, especially during COVID now, if you don't take care of your health, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more expensive what the gym membership's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Doctor bills are way more expensive than Jill. Like
Exactly.
those medications that you gotta buy, and all of
Yeah.
those things. Those things aren't cheap. So,
Because I mean, like, I had multiple doctor visits before getting the CPAP machine. You have to schedule for the night study, which was a pain. Then I had to wait to get the machine. You get the machine, then you got to pay for replacement parts every couple months and stuff. Like, it just keeps
yep.
snowballing, right?
Snowballing. Yeah.
Um, and the sad thing is when you're that defeated and you're not taking care of yourself because you think you're handling all these other things,
Yeah.
you're just pushing yourself further and further behind and pushing you closer to not, you say, oh, my job is important, but What's going to happen when you can't show up because you had a heart attack? Like,
Facts.
big reality. You say you have to work because you need that paycheck, but the day will come where you can't get there, and they're going to replace you like this.
Woo! She went to the Benny School of Hard Knocks. She
Right.
talking. She talking that talk right now, and I'm just sitting back listening because I've been saying this stuff for
Right.
years. But
Yes.
yeah, you're right. Because that job you are a seat in a bucket or in a
Right.
slot, right?
Yeah.
You are a seat in a slot, and your job will replace you in a heartbeat, right?
Right.
When you think you're so loyal to them, they will come to your funeral and tell everybody how much of a hard worker you are, how
Yeah.
you were the first one in and the last one out. And then they will go about their business. They will fill that slot again, say how nice you were, and the job goes on.
Right.
Meanwhile, you don't go on, right? And that's
Exactly.
important because it's like, yo, like you have to understand that, like you said, and I've never even actually put it that way. It's like if you can't get to that job, if you can't perform at the level that you're supposed to perform, or if you can't get to that job, you won't make the money that you're making, right?
Right.
And a lot of times, even this is a hard cold fact, and I'm gonna say this too, is that jobs, in certain jobs, especially if you're an entrepreneur, right? If you look or present yourself a certain way and you're competing for other positions or jobs, right? And you're not a healthy person, they will pick the person who is healthier than you over you.
True.
That is a fact. I know it to be a fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will choose people based off of appearance, not based off of your skill set. So if you're in there, you're huffing and you're puffing and you're out of shape and all of that, they're going to pick the healthiest version because they're going to look at that person and be like, this is the person that we can grow with, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the person who has the sustainability, the energy, the drive. They're going to make all of those assumptions, albeit wrong. They're going to make those assumptions based off of your look, your appearance, and your health. And
Right.
that is a fact. I know it to be a fact. So I'm telling y'all, you are missing out on opportunities. You are being overlooked. You are being judged. You are being a lot of different things because of your health. It goes deeper than just how you feel. It's how you present yourself as well matters the most, right?
Right.
It
Yeah.
all matters. It all does matter, right? It all matters. So, dope. So let me ask you a question because you've been in different situations and been in certain circumstances and gyms and just areas of this health and wellness thing. What do you think separates us from the other places that you've been a part of, gyms, things of that nature? Like, what do you think separates Rebel from, like if you were to tell somebody like, yo, like this place is better than all the places that I've been to or the things that I've done, what would you tell them that is for or why?
Yeah. I mean, if you want a place where you're going to work your butt off, right? The workouts are fire, number one. And number two, if I know it's more than like 90% of the people need that nutrition help, it is a full-fledged community. You're going to get help, not just one reach out a month or something like that, but twice a week at least, if
Right.
not more, and it's super non-judgmental and it's a very easy program to follow. I started it with you as well. I've
Right.
already dropped some weight. Not intentionally. I'm not really looking to
Right.
lose weight. I'm trying to
Right.
get those gains because I
Yeah.
want to eat.
Right. Right.
But it works and it's super simple.
Yeah.
And
So tell them about that too. Like tell them about that nutrition piece. Like, cause you run that now, right? And you and Twana and Coach Raquel and you guys are the main people who are in it and you're overlooking the program. Tell us a little bit or tell them a little bit about, like what that looks like and how that's helped or
yeah,
either helped
I
you or
mean,
how you felt is different.
the measurement system is a lot easier to follow. It's
Mhm.
very easy. You use a nutritional point system, so everyone has their own based on how many days a week they're going to work out.
Mhm.
Um, they're their physical activity level besides their own weight measurement and everything. And it just makes sense. It's great whole foods, nothing, no magic pill.
Right.
And it's just everyone has that learning process because we all think we know what's healthy eating. Oh, I'm going to go on this diet and I'm going to just eat these salads and and then the weight's gonna, like, that's the first thing people think of. I'm gonna just eat this salad twice a day, right? And skip a heavy meal or whatever, and it's magically gonna fall off. And people just don't realize that they are not eating enough food. That's always the number one complaint is I can't eat it all. Like, what am I supposed to do now? I'm full all day long. Well, great, because now you're not going to snack. You're not going to be looking for other stuff to fill the time, right? Because that's another thing that we do is mindless filling the void. Yeah. Because now everything's intentional. You need to get these points in for the day. And it's about making sure you're hydrated, sleeping, watching your stress levels, and having a community that you can say, hey, like, show us your food. And then everyone's going to give you feedback. Like, oh, this is what you missed, or you were this close, like, but you're trying. That's the most important thing.
You know what, too, like, and it's crazy that you touched on that because, like, I always say that, everybody comes into our program thinking that they're coming in for just the nutrition system. Right? Like, everybody thinks like, oh, I'm coming in because I want to learn about, how to eat certain food groups and all of that. And we give them that, right? But I think the biggest thing that you guys do and that we do, period, is the mindset piece. It's the accountability piece. Because, like you said, everybody can go on YouTube and research certain meals or whatever the case may be, or certain programs. But I always say the gold in this program is those Zoom calls, is the check-ins that I see you guys doing. It's the nurturing of people. It's the calming people's nerves when they are about to have a fit because they're just, lost or need that extra push or extra comfort that is going to be okay, that they're going to be okay and get the program down, or just all of those things that people naturally go through. Like, and like, I think that is such a discounted thing when you talk about nutrition, because people always say, oh, I need a plan, but they try to stack a plan on an unstable foundation. And when I say an unstable foundation, it's not the plan that's the problem. It's the habits that they have that are the problem, right? I can give you a meal plan. I can tell you how much water to drink. But if your life is not structured or set up to embrace these changes, none of those changes are going to happen, right?
Exactly.
And I think that a lot of gyms, they throw tools at people, and I've done that in the past as well, right? They throw a lot of tools at you and say, oh, this is what we're going to give you, this is what we're going to give you, this is what we're going to get you, and then once you get it, you do nothing with it. And the part of it is that we really, really stress is giving you the tools, but also giving you the foundational support, right? To say, okay, so you have the nutrition program, that's all good and dandy. You understand your points, you understand this, you understand that. Now let's fix your sleep. Let's talk about your stress levels. Let's talk about self-love. Let's talk about all of the things that are crippling you from being successful, period. Because until we can fix these things, nothing else is going to work. Right. And I think that's what you deal with, and when you talk to on a daily basis with, like, is pretty much right. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but that's what you talk to clients on a daily basis. Like, all the fires you put out really don't have anything to do with nutrition.
No.
Like, tell me about that. Like, what are most of the things that you end up putting out, even though, like, it may start off with nutrition, but
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just people's everyday lives. Like some people just kind of feel like, especially when you start on a journey, everyone else around you gets judgmental, right?
Right.
Everyone gets judgmental, whether it's your spouse, your kids, your in-laws, your friends, because they're like, oh, well, you doing this new diet, so we trying to go eat here, you probably can't go. Well, don't tell me what I can't
Right.
do, like, right?
Right.
So and some people just, you need that community, that support of the like-minded people that are trying to get to the same kind of goal that you are, right? For support and to lean on. And sometimes it's just an ear to listen, like, this is my life and I'm stressed. And
Right.
it's like saying, okay, I hear you. What's going on? Tell me one thing you can do for yourself outside of all this chaos. Just pick one thing. Like, don't try to eat the whole plan in a huge bite. We got to take it in small chunks. So, if all this is going on, what's the one thing you can do for yourself?
Yeah, to make that change. Like one of the books
Right.
that I love, and I know you asked me about it, and I make sure I ordered it for you today. I think CeCe gonna ask me about this book again. It is the coaching habit, and you haven't even read it yet, and but what you're saying is right in line, and it's dialed into that coaching habit. Like, like when a person is going through something, right, they look at that big picture and they try to eat the whole thing at once,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm stressed, I'm not moving, I'm not getting enough water, I'm not all of the things that are plaguing them, and they try to take everything on at once. And one of the things that we don't do normally with clients is start them right off the back with nutrition.
Right.
And people think that like that's crazy. Like, why would you not start me on nutrition the first day? Like, why would you not? And some of the ladies who are in the comments right now, imagine us starting people on our nutrition program the first day they join Rebel Fit, right? Like, it's hard. I mean, not hard as far as the nutrition program, but when you haven't been moving, when you haven't been drinking enough water, when you live a high stressful life and you're trying to do everything, trying to throw everything at you at once is not going to work. So our program is really habit based in structure, meaning for the first 28 days, all we're focusing on is getting you to show up, right? That's all
Right.
we want you to do is just show up. Because if you can get the showing up part done and you can get into the rhythm of that, then everything else would make sense. Like Rosa said, they will lose their mind. It's too much at once.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is
Yeah.
absolutely too much at once. But it's so hard to get people to be like, well, why would I not start on nutrition right away? Because listen, if I gave you nutrition, if I told you to drink 64 ounces of water, if I told you to show up here 3 times a week, and I told you all of that within the first week, your mind is just going to explode, right? But take a more habit-based approach as saying, you know what, for these first 30 days, let's just focus on working out the kinks. Let's focus on working on your schedule. That's going to
Right.
allow you to come in here 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Let's just work on you coming into the gym for the first month and work out the soreness, right?
Right.
All of that good stuff. And then when all of that, and you're consistent on that, and you're making at least 12 sessions or more, now let's talk about nutrition, right? Now
Right.
let's talk about water. Now let's talk about all of these things. And we see a higher rate of people being more successful that route. It's not the super sexy approach, right? It,
Right.
it, it's not at all, because we're not guaranteeing you to lose 40 pounds in your first month, right?
Right.
I'm not going to restrict your diet to a certain thing for the first 4 to 6 weeks. It's not sexy. But I tell you this, once you get to that position of 90 days or whatever the case may be, you have something now that's more sustainable than if I was to give it to you all within the first month.
Right.
And that's what I think makes the biggest difference. Um, Kimberly said, yes, Jesus, it works. And it works. Yeah, baby steps. You got to take baby steps when you're, and even if you're not a part of our community, right?
Right.
You have to take baby steps. Look, guys, like, that's what you have to do. You have to take things on a slow roll and understand that your process is going to come, but it's going to come in time, right?
Right.
And that's one of the things that's hardest for clients, because everybody who comes on be like, how much weight am I going to lose in the
Right.
first 48 days?
They want that finite line, like what day, what
Right.
time is it
What
gonna
time
happen?
of day and this is going to happen. And we're looking at you like, well, you tell us, right?
Right.
Like you tell us. It's all about if you want something more long term or if you want something short term. If you want something long term and you want to be coached through it, then this is a dope program for you for that. If you don't, if you want a quick fix, we are not that. We are not that. And it's crazy because I feel like the crew we have right now is so much in alignment with the message that we're speaking,
Mhm.
and we're all on the same page with that. I watch how you guys coach, and I see how you interact with clients, and it's just the same way that I would. I'm like, this is kind of scary for me because I'm like, pinch me, this cannot be happening right now. Like, is this really happening with me that I'm not having to do all of the stuff that I normally would do, and you guys are kind of like, and it's allowed me to be a better leader to you guys and coach you guys through all of this. So, what did Miss Rosa say? Slowly and steady, but consistent. It doesn't happen overnight. Absolutely does not happen overnight. You didn't gain right. You didn't gain the weight overnight, so you won't lose the weight overnight, right? People are
Right.
so patient to get unhealthy, right? People are so unpatient. Yeah, Miss Rosa said, "Call her LP, Lil Benny."
Ah,
Uh, People are so patient to become unhealthy, but
oh
so
yeah.
impatient when it's time to lose the weight. Like I'm like, where's the patience you had for the last year that you've been doing this? Where's that kind of patience at? Right.
Right.
So and it's all a mindset too. It is literally all a mindset. It is a mindset of what you tell yourself every day, and it is a mindset of like I'm in this to create a lifestyle. I am in this to make long lasting change with myself and to make this happen. So good stuff. CeCe, let me ask you a question. I always
Mhm.
ask everybody this because um I feel like they would tell themselves, their former selves, something different through this whole experience of you being unhealthy, getting healthy, thinking about becoming a trainer, thinking about becoming a coach, and where you are right now in the position where you are right now, looking back at the CeCe who was on the PAP machine and the person who was an introvert, and I mean you still are, I am, right? But that person, what would CeCe tell that person today?
You will be so happy you chose yourself first.
Mm,
Because I'm happier, the family's happier. Like, I'm happy going to work.
yeah,
Like, that speaks volumes because I was so miserable.
yeah,
You will be so, like, beyond happy
yeah,
that you chose you first. That's what it
yeah,
is. I chose me first.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't even have nothing after that. That sums that whole thing up. We are in the process right now of our Little Black Dress program. We are running that, and it's been going well. We're coming up into week 2. I think we have about total with the Ascend alumni folks. We have about 50 people in the program right now, and you guys are managing that. How is that going? Like, how has that been for you to?
It's been crazy. Like Raquel and Tawana, my girls. Yes, thank you. We
Yeah,
work in it. We work in it. I'm getting my feet in there. I'm sure as the weeks go on, it's going to get even better. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing.
And we are looking forward to the end of it because we have our black dress and black tie event. CeCe said she was already looking for her black dress to get
Yes.
popping. I gotta get a suit too, so I gotta figure out because like this time last year, the suit that I wore last year, I can't wear it this year. Thank God. I'm way lighter than I was, so I gotta find a suit myself. But man, it's just some really dope times happening in the basement right now. I see, things. I see the light, and I will say this to the people who struggle with things, and you either that's with mental health, depression, whether that's anything in your life that you're struggling with, right? It may feel like the end of the struggle, and there will never be an end because, like I always tell Michelle, and Michelle always tells me, Benny, the paddle's coming, right? The paddle always comes. Is you have these high points, and then you got a low point, and you got a high point, then you got a low point, right? and you never really get too high on the paddle because you know the paddle's coming. So that's the kind of mentality that I've always had. But what I will say is that anytime you go through struggles and you go through long periods of struggles, because there's been times for me where I've thought that I will never get to the point where I have the amount of help and the type of help that I have right now. And you start to kind of doubt that. Then you start to kind of doubt if you want to do what you're doing anymore, because it just feels like you're just like a hamster in the wheel, right?
Right.
And right when you're about to kind of like be like, to hell with this, I don't want to do this no more. God kind of just opens up a little bit of light for you to kind of see, that everything that you went through or everything that you go through, it's for a purpose, right? It either is going to build you to be stronger, or it's going to teach you one hell of a lesson,
Right.
right? And you take those lessons, you take those experiences, and you grow from them, right? But understand that whatever you're going through right now is not a mindset, it is a moment. And I say that all the time, and I have to tell myself this every single day, that whatever I go through is a moment, and not to create a mindset from it. Because when you create a mindset from it, then you start to self-doubt and self-talk and negative self-talk yourself to death out of whatever greatness that you can become of yourself. And when you look at it as a moment and you work through it and you just grind and you keep the faith, and you don't quit, and you keep moving and you keep exercising and you keep eating right and you keep trying, right? Your breakthrough moment will happen. It will.
Yes.
And you will come out on the other end better than
Sure.
you did when you started. And everybody who I've brought on this chat, on these weekly podcasts, everybody that I've talked to has had those moments where they started feeling a way, they were a certain way, and they've worked through those things. And there's not perfection in this moment, but they are on the other side of what looks brighter than where they were, right?
Right.
And for me, that is where I'm at right now, not only with my health. And it's crazy because when my health changed in January to where I am now, that is when things have started to transform for me in my life and in my business. And you guys are a part of that. This whole team that I have right now is a part of that. I am blessed to have you on here as a team. And I just want to show my appreciation for you, if I haven't shown it enough, that you have come on board and you have taken this thing by the mantle, and you've given your opinion and you've worked hard. Sometimes I'll be looking at you on Sundays and you be sending messages. I'm like, CeCe, what are you doing? But I'm like, yo, like that's what Benny would be doing, right? And that's what we all doing. And it's showing in the impact of my community, in our community. And it's brought a different type of togetherness, and certain people have that effect, and you definitely have that. So I appreciate you. I appreciate Twana. I appreciate Raquel. I appreciate Helen. I appreciate Andrine. I appreciate
Michelle.
all of Leslie. I appreciate all of the coaches, all of the staff here, man. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you guys are leading them to do those things as well. So make sure I ain't forget. I ain't forget nobody. Did I? That's like, oh, Miss Annette. Shout out to Miss
Michelle.
Annette. Oh,
Annette.
Michelle. Yes. Oh God, I cannot forget Michelle. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, you just saved me from a butt whooping. And my girl Michelle, who has been my rock since the last 2 years. But all of you guys have put in that work and constantly have shown your dedication to this business and to this movement and to this community, more so than else, even above the business. So I'm truly excited for what's coming and what we are doing, and having you guys on the team. So looking forward to it. And thank you for coming on board, man. We got a lot of work to do. Her and I have a meeting right after this as well,
Yes.
too. This is just hilarious because we have a meeting right after this call, to go. So I feel like we meet like at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
Um, yeah, but it's all in good. It's all good stuff coming up. So, yo, if you guys are looking for a gym and looking for a facility to work with, yes, make sure you join us. I put a link in there to schedule a call to speak to me. And like I said, it is a place that if you want to see change, if you want to, if you want to, uh become a better person, both inside and out, if you want to be loved on, and meaning that we are going to show you all the attention that you need, right? And
Yeah.
make sure that you are well kept accountable, both inside and outside the gym. This is the place for that. I stand behind that, and I stand behind the people who helped me to do it, from top to bottom. So hit us up. I put a link in the bio. Schedule a call. We would love to talk to you about your goals, because that's the first thing we're going to ask you, a little bit about yourself. What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to become better every day in your life, and how do you want to impact not only you but your community and your family as well, right? So we will get to the bottom of that with you and figure out what that goal is, and do our best to help you get there as much as possible. So look forward to it. Martha says, Cecilia, why didn't you tell me about this?
Waiting for you.
Yes. Martha says, why you ain't tell us to see? There we go. So, Martha, look, jump on that link. I got a link in the bio, Martha. Jump on that link. I would love to talk to you. Or you can just reach out to CeCe, and, she can get you in the loop. But would love to have you into this program. So good stuff, CeCe. Thank you for being on here, man. You might be my co-host. You might be my co-host on these things. You're a pro at this, man. You're an absolute pro.
Uh,
But good stuff, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in and watching every Friday. Like I said, I'm gonna see if I can get one in before. I don't know if I can get one in before next Friday, CC, because I'm leaving on Tuesday. So I may not be able to get one in. I might do one live from Dallas. Who knows? Um, she said, "Yay, I'm ready to join you guys. CC is my girl." Yes, yes, awesome. Would love to speak to you, Martha. So I'll be out of town next week, and we might not be able to do it. I'll see if I can do it live from Dallas. Um, and if I can, I'll do it. If I can't, then we'll just skip a week and go to the very next week. They called you Coach Killer. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Felicia, what's going on? That's Rose's sister. So welcome on board. But yeah, good stuff, Cece. Thank you for coming on here and doing
all
this
right.
with me.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I will talk to you in 20 minutes. I'm gonna eat first, and then we're gonna get this thing popping, y'all. Thank y'all for coming on board. Don't forget, I'm gonna take you off real quick, Cece. Don't forget that if you like what you're seeing right now, we ask you to do us one favor, just comment live or replay in the comments if you're watching this live. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to build my Instagram following up, y'all. So follow me on Instagram at Benny Black, BENYBLAQ. And follow us on social media platforms at Rebel Fit USA. And if you love what you're seeing right now, we got 8 people on here right now watching. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching on the replay. Hit that share button, please. Hit the share button. It'll be dope if you can do that for us. But yo, another great week, another great call, man. I love this community. I love everything that it's about, and I'm proud to not only be a part of it, own it, but at the same time, I love the people who I work with, man. It really makes it fun to come to work and do what I do, and not only that, but just impact and change the lives of people who have been on this program and have become like family to us every week, and taking them through this process. So thanks again to Coach CeCe for being on board with us, and everybody else for checking in on the live. And we'll see you soon. See, CeCe got all these headbands too, yo. Like, have you just been giving them away, or what? Like, you just been killing it with the headbands. I see you with the Brandon Shawty. I see you. I see you. I love it. I love it. Yo, y'all have a good day. I'm gonna go eat. And then we're gonna meet after this and talk about some more dopeness that we're gonna bring into the basement. But thank y'all for coming on board, y'all. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Eat, drink water, sleep at night. Be safe. Peace.